Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am a giant believer in sharing your performance when it comes to your portfolio. Unfortunately, there's so many big channels out there that I'm not going to name that just frankly are not transparent at all with their audience. They don't show their performance for whatever reason. Not only is it dangerous because you have people who are putting a lot of belief into some of these companies and stocks that these creators are promoting, it is also pretty scummy, if you ask me personally. I do believe that if you have like a following over of like 5, 10,000 followers, or even one person that takes you serious and supports you, you should be honest with your performance and not put it behind a paywall, or at least some people don't even show it at all. So today I'm going to be talking about my performance, more specifically year to date and over the last 1 year. Now, if you guys aren't subscribed to my live show, Cash Flow Kings YT, highly recommend you go do that. This video topic is coming from there because we recently talked about year-to-date and one-year performance, and I think it's very important to say that, like, just because I'm outperforming this year, it's not, it's not representative of me being a good investor or whatever. Like, I know a lot of people, actually a lot of people in the Discord, link in the description, have been outperforming this year. We did a poll and it was like 8 people have outperformed. One has been in line with the market and one has underperformed. So like, uh, it's not, you're not special if you're outperforming this year. With that said, I think my investing strategy and style has changed a lot over the last year that has led to me actually outperforming. If you're an OG of this channel, you would remember that like every portfolio update, maybe like a year or two ago, I'd be underperforming every single month. Why was that? Because I was investing in a lot of just way too mature businesses that like it was just way too safe. And I believe that some of these businesses that I invested now, they're just equally, if not more safe. And it was just an obvious upgrade. Thankfully, I've been told by some that I've skipped a few of the stages in my investing journey, and that I've got to the, I guess, end game of just investing in ETFs and maybe a few solid companies that you like. But today I'm going to be sharing 3 companies that have helped me outperform over the last 1 year. For full transparency, over the last 1 year, since August 23rd of 2024, I am up in my portfolio 25.7%, while the S&P 500 is up 16.9%. So it's about like 9% outperformance. Decent outperformance. Once again, I'm not like some genius. A lot of this comes from just switching and reallocating a lot of capital in the portfolio from just kind of stagnant slash low growing assets slash stocks, companies like Starbucks. I hate to say it, but and just reallocating them to some more obvious opportunities like Amazon. So today I'm going to be going over 3 of those companies, kind of just going over my base thesis with them. So let's get right into it. If you haven't already, smash the like button, helps a lot. First company that has contributed to the outperformance this year has been Uber Technologies. Full credit to investing with Aria on this one. He pitched the idea to us on CFK at the end of 2024. You can literally go watch the episode. It was like right before Christmas. I had my sweater on. Not in a million years, maybe a year ago or even 2 ago, I'd be saying, hey, I want to own Uber. But you have an idea pitched to you, and you have a group of investors that get behind this idea and agree with you and your thesis on it, and somebody like RA who can pitch it to you and make it sound really good, which it was at the time. It's a very good recipe for success, in my opinion. Currently, Uber is up 53.22% year to date, pretty much from when I bought in. I just checked, I'm up 50.2% on the holding. Very nice. So unfortunately, I didn't perfectly time the bottom, but I think like Uber below 70, if you got it at like 64, 63, when I bought a lot of my stock, probably one of the most obvious opportunities in the market, in my opinion. Even right now, one could make the argument Uber is still undervalued. They just reached like free cash flow positivity, and it's kind of a repeated theme with a lot of these companies like Amazon, Uber. They just are starting to turn the corner when it comes to like free cash flow, profitability. Everything's kind of going through the roof. I'm a big fan of CEO. It's just a really good opportunity. Market is extremely wide. There's an economic cycle with Uber, like even during tougher economic times. Um, more people are going to sign up to be Uber drivers, and during good economic times, more people are going to be having more discretionary income. More people are ordering Uber Eats, so on and so on. They have the mobility business. They have the food and delivery with Uber Eats. Also, shout out to Grab while I'm at it. Very fast growing business with very competent leadership and management, and I'm very happy with this in the portfolio. It currently makes up 5.5% of my portfolio at the moment. If I got below like 80 again, I'd probably start buying. I think it's really not like horribly valued right now. Currently, it's trading at like a P of 16. I'm gonna do a little deep digging because I don't think that's all right. Currently, Uber is trading at a price to free cash flow of 23. For a company that's growing, Uber's revenue is up 22.8% over the last 3 years, compound annual growth rate in 5 years, 31.8%. I don't think that's a bad deal at all, especially right now when they're turning the uptick on free cash flow. I like Uber a lot. I don't think it's horrible here, but I do have other holdings in my portfolio right now that I think maybe better like value wise. But I do think Uber is still not terrible at today's price, and it's become pretty close to reallocating maybe another 2 or 3%. I'd be fine if this were core holding in the portfolio. Fortunately, I just timed it so well that I never really got around to buying anymore. But Uber is the first. Next company is the largest one in my portfolio right now, probably the business and stock that I have like the most conviction in the world, I'd say, which would be Amazon, which is up 30% in the last year. Now a lot of this like depends where you timed it because year to date it's nothing like crazy. It's still only up like 4%. During Liberation Day, that whole sell off, I was absolutely pounding the table. If you guys were tuning into the show or even watching some of the recaps that I was doing, Amazon and SHG were like the two things that I was just allocating the most capital to during that, and it paid off extremely well. Um, Amazon, it's a giant. I think the day that I chose to buy Amazon, I took like a actually just the other day. I walked outside. I'm going to get my morning coffee at Starbucks. Rest in peace for those who know. Go outside and like I see within the span of like maybe 2 blocks, I think I saw 3 or 4 Amazon trucks. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, how like this doesn't make sense. This shouldn't be real. And that's just Amazon for you. One could even make the argument at today's price, like long term, Amazon is still like undervalued. Thankfully, I'm plenty well allocated. Currently with Amazon, it is a 12.37% stake in the portfolio, which makes it the largest individual holding. I'm currently only up 21.85% on Amazon. So, I mean, there's still plenty of more runway for it to go in the portfolio. Uh, Maybe even makes an argument to be added at like dips if we get to like 200 or 210 at some capital. Don't know. I think Andy Jassy's a fine CEO. I don't love how there's something tied with Bezos every time. Just a really good company, and there's not much to it. Lots of avenues where this company could go when it comes to like healthcare, any business imaginable, really. I think Amazon could tap into it if they wanted to, which is probably something you want when you're owning a company. I still don't think it's horrible, like value wise here, but love Amazon. That's all I have to say. And lastly, another company that has helped me outperform the market over the last 1 year would be Evolution Gaming, stock ticker EVVTY. This is one of the more under the radar, even though it's getting some attention now. Companies in the portfolio. It's more of a medium cap company. Essentially, when you like open Instagram Reels or something and you see people gaming, they're playing online blackjack or something. 90% of the time, quite literally, because they have an insane market share, the game is actually being ran and like made behind the scenes by Evolution Gaming. They have an insane moat over online gaming. The entire thesis of this company was they were doing when I bought in, at least, it was like $75. I was lucky enough to get in at like 68. They were doing a lot of buybacks. Uh, they pay a pretty hefty dividend of like 4% every May or June. So that was nice getting like $70 for them, base dividend ever. And they're very cheap compared to what they're growing at. They have their market share is just insane. Um, In 2022, there's estimates of them having a 60% market share in Europe, 30% in the United States as of 2022, and that's only gotten bigger. I'm a big believer that online gambling is going to continue growing in the future. It's just extremely cheap for the multiples that and the growth rates that they have a 3-year compound annual growth rate of revenue of 21.7%, 5-year revenue growth rate of 38%, 10-year revenue growth rate of 43%. Keep in mind they're trading at a price to free cash flow of 13 right now for that kind of growth. Uh, so pretty good business. Once again, you could make the argument that there's a bit of a discount because it's a sin stock. Another reason that there's a discount is because they trade over the counter. It's a Swedish company. If they were to headquarter in the United States and make it a lot more accessible for United States investors to buy the stock, it would probably see a pump. But there's not really any signs of that happening anytime soon. So it's kind of a hopeful in the future. Plus, Seymour Duck, who introduced me to this company, thank you, Seymour. Um, he has stated that, you know, evolution actually does kind of like being under the radar in one of these companies that like is they can secretly kind of buy back shares. So let it be a secret, I guess. But I like my evolution, and they've been doing pretty good for me this year. Also do like the capital reallocation when it comes to buybacks and those juicy dividends. Those are 3 companies that are helping me outperform over the last year. Also 3 companies that I'm very highly convicted in, and I'll be investing in for a while. If you want to know if I'm ever adding or selling or whatever, make sure to subscribe to here and also Cash Flow Kings, my live show every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Always a good time there. Thank you all for watching. Smash like button, subscribe, and of course, do dividend stocks, not drugs. Have a good one.